Corey Tedrow, and I am joined somewhere. Where is he? Bob Russo. There he is, Mr. Bob Russo, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, so in the next 20 minutes or so, we are going to be doing something a lot of you probably have to do on a regular basis, and that is deliver a high-quality production while being faced with obstacles that threaten to either put you behind schedule or compromise on your creativity. And the tools that we're going to be using to do that are two of our biggest, most recent announcements, Media Composer 7 and Interplay version 3.0. Now you're going to see some major changes in Media Composer that are designed to help you better manage high-res and file-based workflows, as well as some tools for raster and color space conversion of common high-res formats such as Red and Alexa. Now you're also going to see some incredible media management tools. Yes, media management is very sexy. We think it's sexy here at Avid, and that's why we're making it a lot easier for you to work with. We've got features such as background processing. We've also got some user customizable folders that allow you to manage and process files even when Media Composer is not running. And after that, we're going to take a look at some new audio functionality that enable you to level and color the tone of your entire audio mix. And through it all, we're going to be showing you how Avid Interplay enables editors to collaborate on the exact same project, exact same media, in perfect sync no matter where they are in the world. Now, the Media Composer system that I'm on is directly connected to our ISO shared storage system. Bob over there, Mr. Wireless, is not directly connected. However, that doesn't mean we can't collaborate. We are connected through Avid Interplay, and we're going to show you how that works. So the project that I'm working on today with Bob is from CBS's hit show NCIS LA. We'll take a look at it here. As you can see, they use a lot of different camera formats. It's very common, lots of different formats out there, and there are a lot of different people that work on the production, obviously, in a variety of locations. And that is really the beauty of Avid Interplay. It enables everyone on the team, regardless of their role, to be able to contribute to the creative process, no matter where they are in the world. Even like Bob, if they're sitting out in a trade show. So Bob is going to show you what we mean by that.
Thanks, Corey. So I'm working on, I've logged into a component of Interplay called Interplay Central. Just using a web browser, I'm able to look at Corey's sequence and I can kind of figure out sort of where she went wrong. I can even do a little bit of editing, I can log, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this so I can look at clips. I can even look at a group clip. So I have a multicam group clip here. I can even open that up and look at a multicam clip and do my editing with that. 9 cameras on a web browser. But I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna give Corey some critiques. So the first thing, so I can add markers. There's a marker, right? Works great. So this first shot here, we actually have a motorcycle cop. I told Corey not to put that shot in. I was purposely ignoring you, Bob. That's okay. There's paint. Cop. Okay, get that cop out, right? And then the van broke down during production, and we have a continuity problem, and I'm really a stickler for that, so I need to change the plate. I'm canceling my dinner tonight, Bob, just because he upset you. Okay. Now. You know, and this part, we hired this audio guy, Thad. He did a terrible job with the sound. He did a really, really bad. See, he's still doing a really bad job with the sound. And so we need to fix the sound right there. Because we got sound tools in yes, no problem. Absolutely. So I'm going to save those markers, and Corey can instantly see all of my suggestions and recommend we get a new sound guy next time. So we're on Interplay. I've got the same timeline here in my system. All I need to do is update my sequence from Interplay, and you'll see literally in a second or less, all of Bob's markers have come across, all of his lovely comments telling me what I need to do have come across at the exact point in time, time code point in time. So how is that for instantaneous collaboration, all right? He's off, I mean, he's sitting right there, but he could be anywhere in the world. And I'm going to choose to ignore all of this, and we're going to move on to another sequence. We'll get to that later, Bob, I promise. Thanks. So, we already established that NCIS works with a lot of different formats, and, you know, that's common with file-based media. And that can add a lot of prep work at the beginning of an edit, and that's why Media Composer, and particularly Media Composer 7, has added a lot of tools to help facilitate that. And one of our features that we've had for many years now, AMA, allows me to link to some Alexa files in literally just a few clicks. Down here, straight off of the shared storage, I can go right down to my Alexa folder and open that up, and I'm linking directly to them within Media Composer. Now, if we load up one of the clips here, you'll see that it's a little flat, and that is because it was shot as log C.
So previously, if I wanted to view this properly during editorial, I would have to go into, I'd have to take it out to another application and convert it to Rec 709 in order to view it. That is no longer the case. Now you'll see that I have the ability in Media Composer to apply 1D, 3D LUTs, color precision lists right within my source settings. These are totally non-destructive, so if I want to remove it, I can do that. I can add multiple types of, in multiple orders. And, if I want to make changes later, do color correction, and not have any LUTs applied, that's easy to do as well.
So this looks like it's really easy to work with footage with different color spaces. What about footage with higher than HD resolutions? What's new there?
Absolutely. Good point, Bob. One of the common, a lot of source material is coming in. It's 2K, it's 4K, it's even 5K or higher resolutions. We have some red files in here that are 5K.
So what Corey's going to show you now is Avid's new frame flex feature. So she's applying this to the clip, to the source side. She's able to extract the HD image from this 5K file. So she applies this. None of your resolution is lost by you applying this, Avid's frame flex. So yeah, so I want you to zoom in on that sign.
Okay.
Okay, so then drop that into the sequence for me, would you? So I've been telling her to do this for 4 days now.
I know, Bob.
Every single time. Okay, so now you're not locked into that side that frame that you just selected. You can now keyframe this and essentially reanimate your entire project. So so again, Corey, zoom in on the Hollywood sign, right? Then as it pans over, zoom out on the observatory. Okay, it's 4 days. This is like what I got to deal with.
Such a hard ass.
So that's great. So this is an amazing way to work with footage higher than HD. What about like DSLR footage, the H.264, field recorders? What are we doing with that?
Absolutely. DSLRs are very popular. You saw Canon as well as Alexa are some of the file formats that NCIS LA is working with. And one of the things about file-based material is you've got the production crew are dropping it off, but they want that recordable media back as soon as possible. They need to get it back out in the field to record more stuff. The drives they want back. So it means that you want to get that off as quickly as possible before you start editorial. So we've added some new features specifically for that in Media Composer 7. They are called, it gives you the ability to do dynamic media folders, and Bob is going to talk to you about that as I drive a little bit.
So what Corey's going to do is she can create profiles on folders. So any number of folders could have any number of profiles set to them. So there's 3 things you can do. You can copy, consolidate, or transcode. So if we select transcode, you can transcode to high res or low res like DNX36 or high res like DNX175. These all happen in the background with unattended with Media Composer not running. So Corey's going to create a copy profile.
Exactly. So now that I've created that profile, I can apply it to a folder that resides outside of Media Composer. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got a folder called Source here that I'm going to select. It pops up in my Dynamic Media folder window, and I can make it active. So I have control over when that becomes active. Once I check that, it means it's basically a hot folder. Media Composer doesn't have to be running. It's hot. I drop this H.264 file in here. We come back into Media Composer. And we'll see in the Dynamic Media folder window, once that backup copy has been made, my Acquire New button will go green, and then I'll be able to bring in that clip via AMA. And I can do that immediately. I don't need to link via AMA. So while that's happening, we're gonna do a little. What should we do, Bob?
We should try to transcode that too.
Oh, right. We should transcode it. So let's do that here. I'm gonna bring in another clip. And, basically one of the things about H.264 as well as ABC-HD is, they're great acquisition codecs. Not so great when you're working with them in editorial. They can, even the fastest of CPUs can bog down. So what we often recommend with H.264 or ABC-HD is to transcode it to a common resolution, native resolution rather, for Media Composer. DNX-HD is one.
And let's not forget Apple's ProRes.
That's right, Bob. I don't know what I would do without you. So we're going to transcode this. Now, typically, doing a transcode would mean that you have to stop editing. Your system is bogged down transcoding files before you can actually edit. Well, that's no longer the case. Now, with Media Composer 7, I have the option of running this in the background. So that means yes, please take a picture of that. That means that I can kick this off, it runs in the background, and I can keep editing. So we'll kick off that transcode. First thing that happens is I get a placeholder clip. You'll see that it's already DMX HD36, and when the transcode is done, that will come online. I have a background key window that I can bring up. You see it's kicked off. There's the progress bar. We're going to get back to editing now.
Right, we got a lot of work.
We got a lot to do. I know, Bob. I'm sorry.
Stop talking about transcoding. Do some color correction on this show.
Okay.
Really, you're slowing down.
Stress me out, Bob. Okay, so we're going to pop in and do some color correction here. I am in Media Composer, but if you're familiar with Media Composer and its color correction tool set, you may notice some differences here. This is actually the Symphony color corrector. Symphony is no longer a product, but don't panic, it's not going anywhere. It's now an option for Media Composer. So now all of you Media Composer editors out there can upgrade and add the Symphony tool set as an option to Media Composer. So what is the Symphony tool set? Well, let's take a look at our Media Composer UI, please. And basically, there's two big things. There's relational color correction and secondary color correction. So we're going to show relational color correction. What this is basically is the ability to apply, you do a single correction and it ripples through your timeline based on a property that you have preset. So for example, if I choose master clip as part of my relational color correction, that means that now when I go to do let's do something like we'll just tweak the blue here a little bit, make him really yellow. You'll see that obviously the clip that I was parked on has the green line indicates a correction's been made. So that's been corrected, but you'll notice there's other green lines in the timeline. That's because those edits came from the same master clip. So literally with one click of my mouse, I've corrected multiple clips in my timeline, and of course that awesome yellow color I gave them is now in real time. So very easy to work in Symphony. Alright, so we've done some color correction. Obviously getting into the finishing stage here, so I think we will show, I talked about audio, so let's do some, show you some of the new audio features that we have. If you haven't heard, Pro Tools has a new feature, complements of the video guys, Media Composer, and basically they now have a playback engine within Pro Tools that enables them to play back DMX HD natively without any hardware. That's pretty awesome. Well, they were nice enough to give us some features, so we basically now have the ability to cache audio waveforms. Feel free to clap for this. A lot of people have been clapping. It's very exciting. So now as I zoom in and out here, you'll see that my cached waveforms, let me give you some bigger audio tracks there. My cached waveforms, super zippy responsiveness there. That zippiness is going to stay throughout the entire time of the project because it's cached with the project. So even when I close out, shut down my computer, come back in, those caches stay. The other thing I want to show you is clip gain. We have now individual little faders. You have adjustments, the ability to adjust clip gain right in the timeline. No need to open up a tool. You can make precise adjustments right here.
Well, that is really amazing.
It is.
But my favorite new feature is the Master Audio Fader.
Yes, the Master Audio Fader.
So now you can leverage the RTAS plugins that are built into Media Composer, and you can essentially apply an RTAS plugin to the entire mix.
Right.
So previous to this, we did RTAS plugins on a track by track. Now you can do it on the entire mix. So Corey's going to apply one of the Isotope plugins.
So as Bob was saying, the Master Audio Fader, that gives me control on the entire output, and I have, if you've noticed, I can add RTAS plugins right there in that tool. I don't have to go down into the track to do that. What I've opened here is a plugin from a company called Isotope. They make a plugin package called Ozone. This is one of them. This is Insight. There's been a lot of regulations lately related to loudness in the UK and the US, and what this is it's analyzing my timeline for problem areas. I've got specs set up for US. I could change the preset to another spec if I wanted to, and it's just going to tell me where my problems are. Now the beauty of this is because I'm downstream, I can now go upstream and insert another plugin, another one from Ozone, the Maximizer, and this is going to give me the tools I need to fix that loudness problem. So I can adjust the threshold here a little bit, bring down the margin, and then pop back over to Insight, and we'll restart it and see how I've done. So I can continue to tweak that, and then it'll go back and it'll analyze it for me. And of course, this is all happening in real time. So So all right, so we've done some audio and said we're at the finishing stage here, and we're almost finished delivering this to the network. But as is often the case, we have a last-minute problem that we have to address. The original sequence that we looked at, the car chase, let's bring that up. So, you know, we've worked on this a lot, and at the end of the day, I'm just not feeling it, Bob. I'm just not scared for that guy, okay?
Something's gone wrong.
So we're, you know, I don't know what we're going to do. We might have to probably be over budget, behind schedule, or we're just going to have to live with it. So in this instance, I'm going to just make it Bob's problem, and I'm going to ask him to fix it.
Well, that's okay. It's not really a problem because I'm going to be using a component of Interplay called Interplay Sphere. Every version of Media Composer 7 has access to the Interplay system just by logging in. So I'll log into Corey's system, and I will fix her problems. So I can actually see the exact sequence that Corey's working on, and I have low-res proxies that I'm able to stream via this 4G connection. So because time is of the essence, what I've done is I've gone on site and I've looked at her work here, and I'm looking at it, right? I'm like, oh, let me see what Corey's done. He's, you know, and I'm looking at it, and I'm, you know, and I'm like, okay, I know how to fix this. I'm going to hire some stunt drivers, get a couple GoPro cameras, and we're going to shoot some extra shots. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to sit down here at my audio board,
so
and I'm going to start editing.
He is streaming proxies from the ISIS. I have the high res on the ISIS. He's sitting over there, but he could be sitting downstairs, he could be sitting across town or across the world. And that's the beauty of it. You saw when he logged in, it was all offline. That's because he hadn't connected in yet. Once he's connected, he's streaming those proxies from anywhere in the world.
So I've cut in my local footage. So I cut in my local footage. Now this, you can see the purple footage is actually local on my hard drive. And I'm mixing local footage with streaming footage. And I can say, okay, I've done it. It is really, I've solved it. We're all good. And what I'm going to do now, at this point, I can transcode and upload a proxy so Corey can see my masterful work immediately. And I can upload to high res, so no FedExing of tapes or drives or anything. She has instant access to all of my footage.
Absolutely. So if we move over to Media Composer, we can take a look at the final version and see if we're really scared for this guy. They're definitely more scary. Bob's being modest. He didn't tell you, he doesn't want you to know this, but he was actually the guy driving the car when it's flipped over. He does stunt work on the side. So obviously we improved the final result there. I'd like to thank you. That's all we have for Media Composer 7 at the moment. I have one more piece of information to share with you, but I hope you enjoy the demonstration of Media Composer and Interplay. Media Composer 7, if you're interested in Media Composer, it is now available for $999. So we've dropped the price. Very nice, take advantage of it. We have some pods to take a look at the in-depth, you want to get an in-depth demo. And we'd also like, because this is our last demo here of Media Composer, we'd like to say thank you to our amazing stage crew that are hiding behind the scenes that made this all happen. Can I get audio, guys? Can you give me audio out, please, as well? Because for anyone that's missing Arcade Fire, which is, you're supposed to be hearing music with this. But so we had a great time this year. Thank you, everyone, for NAB 2013.
Thank you.